Hi students, welcome to today's lecture on Python programming. In our earlier sessions, we have discussed about basic concepts of Python language, and also uh, we have seen the types of operators in our earlier class. Today, we'll continue the topic uh, how to perform calculations using the operators that we discussed in our previous class. And also, we already discussed about how to produce output on the screen, right? So we'll discuss more about this data output, how to gain more control on the data output while displaying the output of the Python programs onto the screens. Okay, so we'll focus on these two topics more. The basics were already discussed in our earlier sessions. Performing calculations is a continuous topic from operators topic. So you should go through that operators topic first to understand this performing calculations topic. And more about data output is a continuation topic for printing output using the print function. Okay, so you should go through that topic first. So these two are continuation topics of the basic concepts that we discussed in earlier sessions. So please go through those two topics first, then come back to this video, watch this video later. Okay, right. Let us start with how to perform the calculations with the help of operators that we learned in our earlier sessions. So as I told, Python has several types of operators that we discussed earlier, which can be used to perform mathematical calculations in Python programs. Okay, so a mathematical expression is any expression that involves any of the operators that we discussed earlier and performs a calculation that gives a result, that produces a result. Okay, so for example, if you look at this simple mathematical expression 12 plus 2, it is performing addition operation. It is calculating addition of two numbers 12 and 2, and it will produce a result of 14 after performing the addition operation, right? So this is a simple example of performing calculations using the operators that we discussed earlier. Okay, right. So look at this example program here uh, that shows a simple calculation of the pay of a particular employee based on the formula, the salary plus bonus gained by the employee. Okay, so at first step, we initialized the salary is equals to 2,500, and then bonus is equals to 1,200. And the salary of an employee is a sum of salary and bonus. So I'll use another variable, pay is equals to salary plus bonus. Okay, so this is simply going to be a sum of these two values, 2,500 plus 1,200, which becomes 3,700. That gets stored into pay. Okay, and finally we will display it to the user as your pay is pay. So what will be the output from this particular statement? It displays your pay is followed by 3,700, right? So the output is going to be your pay is 3,700, like that. Okay. So we started with a simple example of performing mathematical calculations. Now let us move on to more calculations and the things that we need to remember while performing these calculations as part of our Python language. Okay, so this is another example here. Look at this scenario. A retail business is planning to have a store-wide sale where the prices of all items will be 20% off. Okay, so a particular store wants to give 20% discount on the items that they sell. and we are asked to write a program to calculate the sale price. This is what our task is. Calculate the sale price of an item after the discount is subtracted. Okay, so how to write a program for this? Here are the steps given. First, you need to get the original price of the item. Okay, to get the original price of the item, we know how to read the value from the users. So input, this is the function we use. Enter the item's original price it is asking. Okay, and then it is typecasted with float because price is always going to be a float data type. Okay, so the data entered by the user is going to be a string. Even though he enters numbers, it is taken as string by the input function. We convert it using float by typecasting it with float. So this is our first step, get the item's original price. And second step is calculate the discount on the original price. So how much discount is offered? It is 20%. 20% means that the value is 20 by 100, which is nothing but 0.2. Okay, so 20 by 100 is nothing but 20% is nothing but 0.2. Okay, so to calculate the discount, just multiply the original price with 0.2. So that is what we are doing here. The second step is calculate the amount of discount. Discount is equals to original price into 0.2. Okay, so we already read this original price. Now we are multiplying it with 0.2 to obtain the discount to be given to the users. Okay, then we need to calculate the sale price by subtracting the discount from the original price. Okay, so that is what we are doing in third step. Sale price is equals to original price minus discount. This gives us the actual sale price of the product after discount is given. And then last step is display the sale price. So our task is to calculate the sale price of an item after the discount is subtracted. So you can follow these steps to calculate that sale price. And at the end, you can display the sale price by using a print statement. Print of sale price is comma sale price. Okay, so this will produce the output. Okay, as the sale price is followed by the value of the corresponding item. Okay, now let us see how it can be executed by running this program using IDLE. Okay, so let me show you how it can be executed. I'm just copying this, don't need to type it again, and open the IDLE. Okay, because it contains multiple lines, it is always better to open a new file and then just paste it. Okay, dragging it. If you want to increase the size of this particular window, it is also possible. You can use this zoom. Okay. Right, I hope it is visible. Now you need to save this file to run it. So I'll save it as 2, program number 2, 2.py. You can see it here. The file is saved as 2.py. Now let us run this. To run, you can click on this run and then run module, or you can directly press F5 on your computer. Okay. This is actually minus. Okay. So it is asking now enter the item's original price. Okay. I'll give it as 1,000 rupees. Okay. The sale price is 800 after subtracting 20% discount. That is 20% of 1,000 is going to be 200. So the sale price is 800. It is showing, right? So you can see the output here. It is 800 after subtracting the discount, right? So this is how we can run the program. Okay. So we saw how to run this program also. Let us move on to the next topic. Yeah, we saw this example. The next topic I want to discuss is operator precedence. So you know this concept in C language also, what is meant by operator precedence and all. Operator precedence is the concept of identifying the order of evaluating the operations in a particular mathematical expression. Okay, that means, for example, if you consider this statement, answer is equals to 17 plus x plus 21 plus y. Okay, the order of evaluation of this particular expression will be, because it contains all plus operators, it is evaluated as a left to right expression. That means 17 plus x, and then this result is added with 21, and then the corresponding result is added with y. Because it involves the same operator, you can easily perform the corresponding operation, and the order is from left to right. Okay, it does not matter in which order you perform, because every operator is same and has same precedence level. That is, the priority level is same. But if you consider some expressions in Python language, they might look like this, where the set of operators used in the corresponding expression may not have same priority levels. So this expression has a plus and division operation. Okay, division operation has more precedence compared to addition operation. Therefore, this operation is performed first, that is 6.0 by 3.0, which gives us 2.0. Okay, and then it is added with 12.0, which gives us the answer 14.0. Okay, so the answer of this particular expression is going to be 14.0. So it should be calculated like that only. There is a possibility that you might think first you will add 12 plus 6, which is 18 by 3, and then you will perform, which gives you 6, but it is not correct. Okay, so you know the answer for this. The order of evaluation of operators are based on the precedence only. Highest precedence operators are evaluated first in a given expression, in a mathematical expression. Okay, so if you consider arithmetic operators, here is the precedence levels given. Highest precedence goes to exponential operator, and then multiplication, division, and remainder. These operators are equally precedence, but next to this exponentiation. Okay, so these four operators have less precedence compared to exponentiation, and when you compare the precedence levels of these four, they are equal. Okay, and finally, plus and minus, addition and subtraction operators have less precedence compared to multiplication, the division and remainder, and plus and minus have equal precedence. Okay, so highest precedence goes to exponentiation, next highest goes to multiplication, division, and percentile. Least precedence level of arithmetic operators is plus and minus. Okay, and Python uses a rule for evaluating the arithmetic operations that is said to be PEMDAS. So remember this name, PEMDAS. What does this PEMDAS means? It represents the set of operations to be performed in the given order from highest precedence to lowest precedence. Okay, that means P stands for parenthesis. Whenever you find a parenthesis in the expression, that goes that is the highest precedence operation that should be done in your expression. The next one is going to be exponent. Okay, parenthesis has the highest precedence. The next highest precedence goes to exponent operation. I think you know what is exponent operation. It is 2 stars, right? Whenever you see 2 stars, it is exponent operation. And then multiplication operation, that is a single star. Then division operation, then addition operation, and then least precedence is subtraction operation. So this is the decreasing order of precedence levels. Okay, highest precedence and the lowest precedence or subtraction. So try to remember this formula PEMDAS to remember the order of operations that will be performed in mathematical expressions. Okay, so in general mathematics also we call this rule as BODMAS rule, right? Bracket, that is same as our parenthesis, of, that is exponentiation, D for division, M for multiplication, A for addition, and subtraction for S. In general mathematics, it is a little changed here. PEMDAS. Okay. Now let us go through few examples to understand how this operator precedence is actually used. So you can see it here in this expression 12.0 plus 6.0 by 3.4. Even though plus appears first in the expression, this slash has the highest precedence. Therefore, this has to be evaluated first. So 6.0 by 3.0 is evaluated first, which gives us 2.0. And then 12.0 plus 2.0 is evaluated. That gives us 14.4. That is how the answer should be calculated. Okay. Right. So the another thing that you need to remember is, along with precedence, there is a concept called as associativity. Okay. You need to understand what is meant by associativity also. If an expression contains different types of operators, then based on the precedence level, we will evaluate the expression in the order of highest precedence to lowest precedence. But this associativity concept is used when a particular expression contains same precedence level expressions. Okay, for example, let us say x is equals to, okay, x is equal to 5 into 2 into 3. If you see, these two have the same precedence level, then in which order it has to be performed? Is it first 5 into 2 or 2 into 3? Okay, then you need to apply this rule, associativity. Rule of associativity will decide the order of evaluation of expressions. There are two types of associativities that can be applied on expressions. One is left to right associativity, and the second one is right to left associativity. Okay, two types of associativities we can perform. Left to right, most of the operators that we use in programming languages follows this left to right associativity, but only few operators follows this right to left associativity. Okay, so this multiplication operation uses left to right associativity. So what will happen in performing this operation is, first 5 into 2 will be calculated, and then the result is multiplied with 3. That is 10 into 3 is calculated. That is, this is left to right associativity. Okay, look at one more example. Suppose x is equals to, if we have 5 into 10 by 2. If you have something like this, here also star and division has equal precedence. Therefore, because arithmetic operators follows left to right associativity, particularly this star and division, The first operation that should be done is 5 into 10, that is 50, and then 50 by 2 is will give us okay, 50 by 2 will give us the actual answer, 25. That is how left to right associativity works. But some operators uses this right to left associativity. For example, if you consider an expression something like this, 2 exponent 3 exponent 4, it has two meanings now. Either you can perform 2 power 3 and then power 4, but actually it follows right to left associativity. Okay, so this exponent operation follows right to left associativity. So if you write like this, first expression that is evaluated is 3 to 4, that is 3 power 4. So it is evaluated first, okay, which gives us 3 power 4. 3 square is 9 to 9, 81. And then 2 power 81 will be evaluated. Okay, so you can observe it here that it is evaluated from right to left. Okay, so associativity is two types. Either it is left to right associativity or right to left associativity. Okay, this exponent operation follows right to left associativity. Okay, so this is what associativity rule is. The next thing is we can disrupt the actual precedence levels with the help of parentheses in our programs. Okay, so look at this simple example. If you write something like a plus b by 4, okay, if you write a plus b by 4, we know that according to the precedence levels, this will be performed first by your Python interpreter. This is first calculated and then plus will be performed. But you can disrupt the actual precedence levels by using a parenthesis like this. Okay, so if you write result is equal to a plus b by 4, now even though by has highest precedence, but because we use these parentheses, parenthesis has the highest precedence compared to by, this addition operation will be performed first. Okay, so now even though division has higher precedence compared to plus, plus is evaluated first because parenthesis is used here. Okay, so parentheses are used to disrupt the actual precedence levels of operations used in mathematical expressions. Because parenthesis has highest precedence, even though the operation that you perform inside the parenthesis is of lower precedence, it does not matter. It is calculated first. Okay, so in this expression, a plus b is calculated first, and then by 4 is calculated. Okay, so it is changing the precedence levels according to our wish. Okay, it is possible with the parenthesis in our expressions. Okay, now let us have a look at the uses of these parentheses. By looking into this example, I just want to calculate the average marks required by a particular student. So what I will do is I'll follow these steps. Test score 1, test score 2, test score 3. I'll get all the test scores performed by the user. Okay, marks, test score is nothing but marks. Because I want to calculate, I like to calculate the average by adding the 3 test scores and dividing the sum by 3. Okay, because it is 3 test scores, I will divide it by 3 to get the average. And finally, I will display the average. Okay, now I will explain the importance of parentheses while solving this particular example. Okay, let me show you the program. See, I read the 3 test scores here, test 1, test 2, and test 3 taken as variables. Test 1 is equal to float of input of enter the first test score. Okay, so user will see this message, enter the first test score, and he will enter the marks of the first test. And then test 2 is equals to float of input of enter the second test score it is asking. User will see this message, enter the second test score, and he will enter the marks obtained in second test, which will be stored into test 2. And then test 3 is equals to float of input of enter the third test score. User will see this message, enter the third test score. He will enter the marks of test 3, which will be stored into test 3. So once you got these 3 marks, you can evaluate the average by summing up the results here and then divide it by 3. See, if you do not write this parenthesis over here, what will happen if you write something like this? Test 1 plus test 2 plus test 3. Okay, let me take, if you write like this, average is equal to test 1 plus test 2 plus test 3 by 3. What will happen if you write something like this? Guess what will happen? What happens is, because plus operation has lower precedence compared to division, this will be performed first, which gives us wrong values. Okay, so you need to be very careful about usage of this parenthesis. In this example program, it is compulsory to use this parenthesis to group the addition operation here. Test 1 plus test 2 plus test 3 must be grouped together to calculate and then perform this 3.4 division. Okay, otherwise you will get wrong results. Okay, I'll show you with examples running this ideally, and finally we can display the message as average score is the result obtained in this variable average. Okay, so you need to understand the difference between writing expression like this and like this. Okay, grouping this expression into a parenthesis and without parenthesis also. I'll show you the difference by running this example. Okay, let me copy this. I'll open ideally to see how this can be run. Okay, we use the same file which I have used earlier. Where is it? This is the file. So I'm going to use the same file. I don't want to create a new one. So 2.py again I'm using here. Okay, I'm saving it and I'll try to run it using this run module. Okay, so it is asking enter the first test score and it is waiting for the input to be given by the user. Okay, I'll give the first test score as 80. Now it is asking enter the second test scores. I will give 90. And the third test score, I'll give 60. Okay, the average score is 80 plus 90 plus 60 by 3. It gives 170. 230 by 3, which gives us 76.66. It is giving correct answer, right? Now, let us see what will happen if I do not use this parenthesis here. I'm removing the parenthesis. Now you can see the result is going to be wrong. Okay, let us run this program. Again, it is run. Enter the first test score it is asking. I'll give 80. Test score 2 also I'm giving 80. Test score 3 is also 80, because to understand it very easily, I should get the answer 80. The average should be 80. Let us see what is the answer. It is giving 186.66, something like that. Why? The reason is 80 plus 80 plus 80 by 3. Okay, so do you understand why this answer is 186.66? Because it is becoming the expression like this: 80 plus 80 plus 80. Because there is no parenthesis, it is by 3. Okay. Now, according to our operator precedence rules, This division operation has higher precedence, so this has to be evaluated first. So what is 80 by 3? Let us say something like 26.66. Okay, it gives us the answer like this. And then it has two addition operations. So it performs left to right. So this is evaluated 80 plus 80. It's going to be 160. And we have this plus 26.66. The result is this one, 186.66. So that is how it is giving wrong values. This is actually wrong. The average of 380s should be 80. Okay, it is giving 186. So you need to be very careful while writing Python programs with the usage of these parentheses. Okay, so whenever you want to group the lower precedence operators into a parenthesis such a way that they are performed first. Okay, you need to be very careful with the usage of these parentheses, right? Okay, so this is our example. Now let us continue the topic. Yeah. Another example I wanted to show you. Look at this scenario. You want to deposit a certain amount of money into a savings account and then leave it alone to draw interest for the next 10 years. At the end of 10 years, you would like to have 10,000 in the account, which means that you know the target amount, but you don't know how much to deposit. Okay. So how much do you need to deposit today to make that happen? That means to get this 10,000 after 10 years into your account, what is the amount to be deposited today? That is what we want to calculate. And you can calculate this principal amount to be deposited by using this formula. P is equals to F by 1 plus R whole power N, where P is the present value or the principal value. F is the future value that you want to in the account. R is the annual interest rate, and N is the number of years that you plan to let money to sit in the account. Okay, it's a simple interest formula, interest calculation formula. Now we can use this formula to calculate that principal amount P by reading these values F, R, and N. Three values you need to read. So the algorithm goes like this: get the desired future value, that is F. So this is F. So you will ask the user, what is the future value you are expecting? And interest rate, this is nothing but R. So you'll ask the user, what is the annual interest rate? 5%, 10%, something like that. And the number of years you will ask, which is nothing but N. Once these three values are read from the user, you can calculate the amount that you have to deposit using the formula P is equals to, you are going to calculate P using this formula. Okay, so we'll calculate P and display the result of calculation by using the print statement. Okay, so this is going to be the algorithm. We'll see how we can read it with the help of input function and then calculate and print. This also demonstrates the importance of the corresponding parenthesis, usage of parenthesis here. Okay, so I'm asking the future value. The first step is get the future value. So I'm asking the user, enter the desired future value. The message is displayed and I'm converting it into float value because it should be a rupee. Okay, it should be a money amount. So the string has to be input always reads strings. Remember that point. I am converting that string into a float value, which is stored into future value. Okay. Then I am asking the interest rate. Enter the annual interest rate. It is asking here. This will be displayed to the user. User enters some interest rate. Usually going to be some 0.05, 0.02, 0.1, so on like that. For example, if he wants to enter 5% interest rate, annual rate is 5%, then he will be giving a value as 0.05. Right? 5 by 100 is 0.05. Okay, if it is 10%, you will be giving 0.1 and so on like that. So according to the interest rate, he has to give the corresponding value as a float value like this. You should not mention it as a percentile value. Okay. So after reading the interest rate, the third step is ask the user to enter the number of years. How many years you want to grow. Okay. This is number of years is always going to be an integer. Okay. So int of input of enter the number of years the money will grow. This message will be displayed to the user and user enters the number of years, which is stored into years. Okay. So now we've got all three values. Present value is equal to future value by, because we know the formula, P is equals to present value is equals to F by, that is future value expected, by 1 plus R. Formula is like this, 1 plus R whole power n. This is the formula you should remember. So to write this in Python, this P is now represented with the variable present value is equal to F is represented as future value. You can use any name here. It does not matter whether you are using these names or not. You can directly use P and F also in place of this. Okay, you can use short names, no problem. And then 1 plus R, because R is now rate, to the power years. Exponent is represented using this 2 stars, right? So star star years. This formula is just written like this. Okay. Here, why we are using parenthesis? If you do not use parenthesis, it is going to be rate to the power years. So again, you will get wrong results. I'll show you how it works later. Okay. And once you calculate it by using this formula, present value is equals to future value by 1 plus rate to the power years. You will get, display the corresponding result using this printf. You will need to deposit this amount and then display this present value that is calculated. Okay. This is how it works. Right. So for example, if the desired future value is 10,000 and the annual interest rate is 5%, to indicate 5%, I have given 0.05. Number of years is 10. Then user has to deposit this amount it is calculated. Okay. Now let us see this execution and the importance of parenthesis, usage of parenthesis in this program also. Let me run this with our IDLE. I'll use the same file 2.py, 2.py to run this program also. I'll paste it here or save it and then run it. Okay, enter the desired future value it is asking. Okay, I'll give 10,000. Do not give any commas or something like that. Just enter the value as 10,000. It is asking enter the annual interest rate. So I will give 0.05. And the number of years I am giving 10. So it is giving the correct answer 6139 point something like this. Okay. Suppose if I change it without using that parenthesis, you will see what will happen. I am removing this parenthesis. What will happen? Instead of 1 plus rate to the power whole power years, it performs rate power years. And then 1 will be added. Now let us see what will happen if I run this program. Save it and run it. I'm using the same input 10,000, 0.05 to show you how the output changes. See, you will need to deposit this amount. It is showing 10,000, which is clearly a wrong answer. Okay. So you need to be very careful while running these programs. Usage of parenthesis is very important in certain scenarios, not all scenarios. You need to be careful when parenthesis must be used to disrupt the actual precedence levels Okay. So in this case, we want to perform this lower precedence operation first compared to this higher precedence operation. That is the reason why we are using parenthesis here. So always remember that whenever you want to perform a lower precedence operation first in a particular expression, use parenthesis uh, to make it a higher precedence operation. Okay, right. Okay, so that is about the calculations, performing calculations. I have shown several examples here. Okay, I hope I should stop here. Otherwise, the topic will not be completed further. I just wanted to show you how these output operations are performed with more control on print function. Okay, but I will explain this topic in our next session. Okay, so I'll stop it here. Okay. Uh, I have given so many examples in this class today. Probably you can test all these examples. Let me go through it quickly. Okay. So what I have discussed till now. So we started with a simple example of performing a mathematical expression. Okay. Please, all of you do one thing, that try to test all these programs. Okay. Type it in your own in ideally with a new file is created for every program. Save all those files into a particular folder. So you create a folder, as I told you in earlier class itself. You create a folder with the name Python programs, okay, and save all your Python programs into that particular folder. Okay. So this is your first program that explains a simple mathematical calculation. And then another example I have given to calculate the sale price after discount. Okay, so you try this program also. Please practice all these programs with IDLE. And then we discussed about what is meant by operator precedence and associativity. Every operator has its own precedence level. Expressions are evaluated according to the decreasing order of operator precedence levels. That means highest precedence level operator is evaluated first. Associativity means that when you have equal precedence operators in a particular expression, uh, then associativity decides which operation has to be performed first based on the associativity rules. There are two types of associativity rules. One is left to right and right to left. The second one is most of the operations are performed with left to right rule, and exponentiation operation is performed with right to left operation. Okay, and I have shown some examples here. Uh, to understand the importance of usage of these parentheses to disrupt the actual flow of precedence levels, we can use these parentheses to group the lower precedence operations to perform it first in the expression. Okay, and we have seen some examples for this grouping of parentheses. The first example is calculation of averages, where parenthesis is a compulsory symbol to calculate while calculating the average. Otherwise, you will get wrong results. I have shown that with the help of example also. Okay, so practice this example with a parenthesis and also without a parenthesis. Test your outputs, right? And then another example that we have seen is to calculate the present value to be deposited into the bank account to get a particular future value based on the number of years to spend and the rate of interest. Okay, so I have shown this example also. You need to test this program also with your IDLE, right? So this is what I wanted to discuss today. I'll continue the remaining topic, that is a data output, control over data output using print function in the next session. Okay, it's all for today. Thank you all for your patient listening. See you in the next session. Thank you.